I don't know.
Hey, Scott.
Hey, Shane, how are you?
Good.
Yeah, at least, well, progress.
We are, yeah. We're getting there.
Yep. Hey, just remember that tonight is now a special meeting.
Correct. Okay.
Okay, so nothing other than the agenda items can be acted upon. I'm sure Vince said there may be some people that there want to talk about pickleball and everything else.
Did we adjust the agenda or from last
No,
week?
the
Or?
agenda is the same.
Okay. All right.
I just had to change it to special meeting, so.
No
We'll
worries.
give updates and I'll let you know what's going on and sports and everything, the reopening and everything. So
Sounds good.
you holding up?
Yeah. Yep. Been
Good.
been very busy, which is a good thing. How about yourself?
Yeah, too busy.
Yep. I feel the same way.
Yeah, I can't get off first base, I don't think. But and there's MP. Yay!
Hey,
There's a
MP.
start.
Hi.
This is a lot better than last time.
So far, so good.
Yeah. Well, I've done something wrong, I'm sure.
We're all learning so many new things.
Oh, yeah. It'd be nice to be able to meet in person again, but
We'll get there.
yeah, well, until August and when it dives up again.
Yeah.
So we're waiting on Pam and Vince. Hi, Rob. Rob's connecting to audio.
Spinning, spinning, spinning.
Don't look so stern, Rob.
I don't think his audio is connecting.
Yeah, Rob, check your audio. It's not connecting.
MP, how are you doing?
Doing fine. How about you?
Good. Good.
Good.
Family's all good.
Yep.
Hello, everybody.
Hey,
What's up,
Vince.
Vince?
Hey,
Hey,
Vince.
Vince.
You.
AMP.
You're in the
Shane.
shadows,
Oh.
but you're in the shadows, but you know, we know it's you.
I'm in the shadows.
Oh yeah.
He looks like he's in
Turn the light on.
All right, I'll turn the light. I'm
witness
outside,
protection
actually.
program.
I'm outside.
The dark side.
Well, you know it's me.
Yep. We're just waiting for Pam. Give her a couple of minutes, I guess. and then Rob can. start
Shane,
the
how are
meeting.
you?
Good, Vince. How you doing?
All right.
I've seen you a few times, passed you on the golf course a few
On the
times.
golf course, yeah. Probably hit your fairway, right?
I haven't played yet, so
Oh, yeah.
I haven't. No, I've yet to step foot on the course this year.
I haven't played in about 5 years.
Pam's joining us.
Cool. Then we have a quorum.
Ooh,
Her audio is still.
Yep. A little lag.
Hey, Pam.
There she is.
Hi, Pam.
Oh,
Okay.
Well, it's a
We
good
are.
night to be outdoors.
Yeah. I'm not outdoors, but and forgive me if my dogs start barking. So hopefully they won't.
I think that's required on at least every Zoom meeting, so.
Yeah. So Rob, I'm going to turn the meeting over to you as chairman. And we just need to be reminded that this is because of last week's failure. This week is a special meeting. So nothing can really be added to the agenda, can be discussed, but no other action can be taken. So with that, Rob, you've got it.
Okay, so we're not going to be sharing any information. So we'll, from a document standpoint, we're not planning to anyway. So we'll call the meeting to order now at 7:01 p.m. Is Kristen on? Is she able to take minutes?
Yes, Kristen is on.
Great. Hi,
Yes,
Kristen.
I'm right here. I'm just gonna block myself out so I'm not on the YouTube video. But if you guys need to ask any questions, I'm right here.
Okay.
Okay,
All
great.
right.
Thank you so much.
You're
Thank you very
welcome.
much. So the first order of business is to approve the minutes from May 5th, 2020. So we would need a motion and a second, and we could discuss any changes or acceptance and
I move to
and approval
approve
of
the
those.
minutes.
I'll second.
Thanks, MP. Thanks, Pam. Any comments or changes or additions to the minutes?
I have two very minor corrections under operation challengers. I think, Kristen, you meant to say that the gates will be mandated and people will have to show proof of residency rather than prove. And also when you're talking about strong field, they can grab their goodies on the bleachers. I think you meant to say bleachers.
All right, I'll make sure those two get changed.
So,
And I had one small one under state of operations. It said summerscape. It's about, I don't know, 6 lines down. It should be summer escape. And Scott can check that with me,
Yeah,
but it's the
Escape,
camp,
yes.
both capitalized.
Okay. I will make those changes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to mute myself for a second.
Talking to the dogs.
Can we open up a bottle of wine, Scott, in the back there?
Yeah. Let the minutes reflect it, Scott is speaking with his dogs. So any other changes to the minutes? If there's no other changes, the minutes approved. All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Okay, great. So the minutes are approved. So as far as public comments, I don't know that we have. Scott, are you able to show if there's any other guests or if there's anyone else that's available that may want to make a comment?
There does not appear to be any open questions.
Okay. Looks like the participants are 7, which would really make up 6 of us plus Kristen. So
Yep.
I think we're good. So just under chair's comments, just to give a heads up, I did take a call. There was a citizen that sent a note out to Peggy, and Peggy reached out to Scott and I just about what additional information or what additional life-saving devices could we provide? And so I had a conversation with her, and Scott's going to look into that, and I think it's something that we'll give the group an update to. And when she had inquired about life-saving devices, it was not a boat or a raft or anything like that. It was more around what's available when we don't have lifeguards there. So just to let you know that that's really the only individual that reached out we did have individuals reach out about the porta potties, and Scott was exceptional and had them moved within minutes. So thank you, Scott, for that. And then the only other comments that I really wanted to prepare tonight, just to kind of get on the record, is so we're, and correct me, Scott, or confirm for me, June is our last fiscal month of the year. Is that correct?
Yes.
July starts the new year?
Yes. Yep.
So in that sense, it's a new year for us starting in July. And I just wanted to put a thought out to the commission, and how we do this, I don't know, but you know, I think we've made some good progress. I think notably the survey that Shane and Vince brought was very helpful. And I think it gave us some insight and places to dig deeper. I think, you know, the challenge that we had faced with the online ordering, I think we've made some progress with Art, and we did avoid trying to operationalize a system that wasn't ready. So I think there's been some successes and some challenges. What I wanted to put on the table for this group that we need to have some discussion on at some point is, as a commission, how do we provide value? And I think in the past we talked about, one was asset management. There's a lot under Scott's department, and how do we have line of sight to that, making sure that the department and the town gets what they need to make sure that our assets are taken care of. Two would be projects and project management. And I think we started this year by talking about what were the projects, what was the process, and how are they going, and how does Scott prioritize, and what does he need for support. I think next would be programming. I think we learned this year, just through the discussion on Academy, that you know, programming is a big task. It's a lot for Linda, it's a lot for the department, and how do we effectively support what the community and the town wants, and how do we meet that need? And obviously there are challenges today for programming given the pandemic, but there are also opportunities moving forward. And then I think the other question is, would there even be a need for subcommittees? We as a commission operate on a monthly basis. We listen to the subgroups, but would there be an opportunity to get more feedback from the town? So I wanted to put that out there. I think it's something that I'd like to put on for an agenda item in a future date, where we can actually have some discussion and get feedback, and really ask ourselves, do we feel like we're improving the process? Number one. Number two, do we need to have a stop, start, continue? And then number three, you know, a year from now, how do things at the Beach and Rec look better, different, or transformed? So, Kristen, those are my comments. There's a lot. I can send those over to you. I'm sure you've captured them, but that would be the completion of my comments tonight. So with that, we're going to move over to the director's report, and we've gotten into a cadence where we really asked Scott to give us an update, and I think there's probably a lot of questions people have. So this is an open director's report for him to go down on the items that are listed on the agenda, and a chance for the commission to really have a dialogue with Scott and ask questions. And that's really the main purpose of tonight's meeting. And so with that said, we'll start with a budget status, and Scott will give us an update, and then we'll have some Q&A. And Scott, I'll turn it over to you. I think you're on mute, Scott.
Okay. Sorry,
Okay,
dogs were going kind of crazy. Got a new dog that's in the family, so it's challenging right now. I sent everybody a projected end of year status that we will be turning back to the town at the conclusion of June 30th. There may be some minor adjustments due to the fact that now some sports can start after the 17th, and then other ones that are more contact are in July, such as lacrosse, football, and what have you. But baseball, softball will be starting up in fairly short order. We have a meeting tomorrow with the long-term recovery committee, and I'll be working with all the sports leagues to figure out scheduling and time slots. And they have presented Little League and Madison Travel Baseball have presented their plans for how to keep social distancing, what's going to happen at the field, on the field, where the players are going to be, and how they're going to handle the ball contact. So those are, baseball is considered a moderate risk, and as well as softball, and the lower risk is like golf and whatnot. But those were my projections. I think we're going to be good. There may be some slight adjustments because I had to order extra portalets at the surf club to handle us not having the bathrooms open yet. So we're awaiting those financials, but it shouldn't be that much. That will be absorbed by the COVID expenses that the town is documenting what we've spent, or the town has spent, for the COVID response. Other than that, that's where we're at. We're in a positive. I did do a line item transfer to the beach personnel account, and majority of that money was taken from the security services, and I took some from a couple of other accounts to hold us to the end of the year. Now that we're going back into staffing mode, we start 7-day operation, well, 5-day operation starting June 20th, and we're discussing right now whether or not we believe lifeguards, and we need to discuss this, but lifeguards for the last 2 weeks, they are on a 5-day schedule, and we're looking into whether we need to man the gates on Mondays and Tuesdays to create a 7-day, because Camo keeps on closing. Then we see the influx definitely at East Wharf, then it goes West Wharf and the Surf Club. Last week we had to close Surf Club because we maxed out, and we have to figure that one out. And I'm working with Peggy to develop what's it going to cost for those 2 extra days for the rest of the fiscal year to end up covering, and then going into next fiscal year, having the 7-day coverage at the main gates.
Can that get considered a COVID expense?
No, because technically we go into regular operation when graduation happens.
Mm-hmm.
So that's technically the 20th.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's from the 20th to the 30th of June.
God, are all the parking lots open now, Surf Club?
Not all. We are
But
25%.
that's why we maxed out, right? I mean, it was maxed because we.
Correct.
Why are we limiting the parking?
For social distancing and the EOC recommendation to keep the volume down so we can control it for spacing.
When would
Scott, what changes on the 17th with that?
17th is when the fields can start to be used. So I'm working with Little League, Madison Travel Baseball, men's softball, to figure out protocols and scheduling. Lacrosse can't start until after July 7th right now.
But is there any change in like the parking lot situation, or?
That's what I'm trying to deal with. I think what I have done is I've told them to not plan on both Nelson Fields or probably Strong, because of the parking. It really depends upon the days that they're playing and the times.
What about for normal beachgoers though? So on the 17th, are the bathrooms being opened back up? Are we?
All the bathrooms are open now.
Okay.
So, I mean, that they were open last Thursday. So we've been off the porta potty porta potties since last Thursday.
So on the 17th or the 20th, are we expanding the parking lot to Vince's point, or are we keeping it?
That is up to EOC.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have a long-term recovery meeting tomorrow to discuss the parking, discuss the sports. And I got to figure out, I mean, there's a lot of fields that are off-site from the beach, like Salt Meadow. We have the high school fields or Green Hill that we can shuffle things. We have Academy. You know, it doesn't have to be centered down at the beach. The high school turf is available. So some of the sports can go up there. Yes, it doesn't have the baseball complex that we have on Strong, but lacrosse definitely can go up there.
Well, I'm also wondering, Scott, though, even aside from the athletics, you have the virtual schooling is ending.
Correct.
As well. So just normal beach goers, I would assume that we're going to see a increase, not to mention the weather getting nicer and warmer, but
Yep.
The weather's good, you know, so is there a plan around?
Yeah, we're like I said, the EOC is working on that, and we're trying to follow state protocols. We'd love it if Hammonasset opened up further, because we got jammed again today. They did finally made contact with the state, and they are calling the surf club when they close now, so we can get word to all 3 beaches. And where there's a problem is people went to Salt Meadow, and the parking lot was full. They thought that they could get to Hammonasset by walking down the runway with their coolers and everything else, only have to turn around and come back. So we do have that. That's an issue. I don't know how we're going to be able to handle that really quickly in order to lock those gates.
Scott, was the surf club closed today then?
We did not reach capacity. So they didn't get down to the surf club, but East Wharf was full, and obviously West Wharf with only 22 cars.
Hammonasset was closed at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Correct.
Yeah, I had 4 police cars there.
Yep.
Scott, can you just remind us, what is the state holding Hammonasset to as a percentage, and what are we matching that as far as?
We are actually at, they're at 25%, we are at 50.
And what approximately is 50% for us?
250.
250 cars?
Yes. Yes.
How big is the back parking lot? Is that?
That's our biggest lot, and so it's, I think that lot is, well, with just the processed area is 250 total, but we only have the front lot and then half of that back lot.
As of today?
Correct.
Okay, but after the
And Scott, what is the process to increase from 50% to 75? How would that play out for you?
I really, again, it's the EOC, and we're following the state protocols, and they have to figure out how we're going to do it. I mean, I think if we keep on increasing ours, it's only going to present more issues with when Hammonasset closes. They're all going to still funnel down to us.
And
So
Scott,
it is an issue.
Scott, how do you enforce it? Does someone just sit at the gate and literally count the cars coming in, and then?
We monitor the lots and look at the parking spaces, and I mean, we have the gravel lot lined, so we know what spaces are available. And right now, Monday through Friday, we don't have any gate attendants at all, 3 beaches, because, you know, in the regular world right now, school is still in session. We've never been guarding during the week. We've only been on weekends. from Memorial Day to when school gets out, which is the weekend of the 20th.
Scott, does that 500 include the grass lot as well? The grass side?
Yes,
So that's total capacity is whatever we have available in those spaces.
correct. Yeah, it's a little bit over 500 spaces. And then when we flow out into the exchange lots, we gain maybe 60 more cars.
Yeah.
And then like July 4th, July 4th, sometimes we open Exchange Field. For the parking.
So we have, this is great discussion, and I think we need to come back to it. What I'd like to do is just kind of put a bow on the budget. And then I think maybe under beach pass sales status, I think you have and staffing updates and facilities. I think that's going to be the bulk of our discussion.
Okay.
So if we could, just going back to the budget, the takeaway is that we're averaging 139,000 spent a month year to date. Well, the budget is 139 a month. Year to date, we're averaging 122. Scott has said we're in good shape, and that we'll come out with a surplus. Is that what you're expecting? Okay.
Right.
And then any other questions on the current budget?
Yeah, I do.
Otherwise, we'll go into
on the budget that I'm looking at.
Sure, go ahead, Vince.
Yeah, the 2021 approved budget. I'm assuming, Scott, I mean, your budget number is 5,100 on the sheet that I have, and the one above that is 40.
Yeah, we're the 5,100 account.
You're the 5,100.
Yep,
So
it starts in the middle and then goes.
Okay, so
Yeah,
under the, right, 5,100 on the 63-1-79, just to be, we've got 109, there's a difference of 90, is it $91,000? Am I reading that right?
what account?
Oh, I'm sorry, it's wages facility.
Correct.
Okay,
The
so
2021 budget is, God, I got, put my glasses on, sorry, folks. 167,899.
167,899, okay.
And that includes surf club and the gymnasium for the year.
So does that include the additional of surf club lifeguards, the guards there? I mean,
Yes,
put on staff, okay.
Yep.
That's what that is. That's what that is, correct?
correct.
Okay. And I just have one other comment, maybe MP can answer this, the purchasing services 79 account. It's 67,592. We're only going to spend 10,752 of that?
Scott's a better one to answer that, but I think that's the change in the security hiring.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's the securities account
Okay.
when we hired the outside service. That's zeroed out because we're not doing them.
So we're not doing it, okay.
Correct.
Okay, those are my only questions.
So it looks like, Scott, this year we said that 1.677 is what we had, which is 139 a month. You're asking for 1.695, 141 a month. It seems anything that you would want us to be aware of what you're requesting
Yeah,
that we said no to.
That we had put in for some additional requests, but those were not granted. But they're basically wage increases on the grounds and the full-time staff and contracts. The disposal recycling that went out to bid, and I believe we're going to be going out to bid to get more companies because we went from, I had projected maybe 40, and we came in at $53,000 on their bid, and it was only one company that bid. So we have to cast a broader net or figure something else out. And the biggest thing was when I discussed it with the bidder, the had miscalculated for the last contract, the labor for all the downtown barrels. Right now, we're in summer season, starting Memorial Weekend, they go to a 7-day pickup. And it's one of the, the galvanized trash cans that they have to go and stop, get out of the truck and everything else. So it's labor intensive, and he had miscalculated. So the bid came in way high. So we're I think the selectmen did not award the contract, and they're gonna be talking to Bill McMahon and I to go back out to bid.
Okay. So this is already approved. This is all set, your operational
Yep.
budget? Okay.
The Board of Finance approved it. So that's what we have to work with.
Got it. Okay, if there's no other questions.
Scott, do you want to mention why the additional requests were not considered this year?
I
for
think it was
almost
based,
every department.
I think it was, yeah, it was pretty broad stroked that they were trying to keep the budget down during these uncertain times.
Right.
And
because
they
it
ended
did
up
not-
keeping the mill rate flat. So
Right, because it did not have the opportunity to go to referendum.
correct,
So
as well.
almost every additional request, other than those that were safety oriented, were
Were-
not added
were not
into
approved.
the budgets for this year.
Correct.
Did that impact any of the project lists? Any of the project on the project list?
No, that was all CIP,
Okay.
and most of those projects are still within or moved a year or so out. That's all.
Okay.
So
So just for clarity, so that budget that was approved has the 5-day schedule for lifeguards on it?
correct.
Okay. We wanted 7 days?
Excuse me?
We wanted 7, Scott?
Yes, we were trying to increase it to 7,
7, okay.
and they said, well, let's try with 5.
And the 5-day for the gate guards as well?
Correct, and I'm working with Peggy because we may want to, I have to do a cost estimate to add those Mondays and Tuesdays.
Okay. MP, thanks for that call out. I think it's great for the minutes to actually reflect that what we were asking to add to the community for Beach and Rec was held back relative to no referendum and keeping the budget in line. Thank you for that. Okay. So next on the agenda under Director's Report is project updates. And I think the beach and surf club is primarily what we need to get some updates from. And we just had some discussion. So I think under project updates, Scott, if we could kind of start with the beach, what's on your mind? Where do you need, what decisions are going to be made? Where would you like some support? And then I think there's going to be a lot of Q&A that we may have as a group. So maybe we'll continue the discussion now on the status of the surf club and the beaches.
Well, the beaches are all up and running, and they'll be manned as of the 20th on a regular basis. And all staff has been hired. So we're in the summer mode. College kids have been all home, so they're willing to work, and we've developed the schedule, and that'll start shortly. Hey, we had an Eagle Scout project at East Wharf, installing a flagpole that is lit. That is out by the gazebo. And that was completed in a couple of days, so that was great. And we are currently working on fencing estimates for the Canoe Kayak launch at Cottage Road, as well as we did get the floating docks installed at West Wharf, and they are complete with the exception of rub rail down below. So we don't have to have hanging um, fender pads on the rescue boat. And we're getting an estimate on restrictive fencing that will be installed on top of the wharf. So from the wharf side, people will not be able to get onto the docks or access to the fireboat. I can imagine that kids will be swimming out to it and getting on it on the dock and jumping off, but fire department is making safeguards to protect their asset, and that'll be done fairly soon. I'm just waiting for the estimate and the time frame for when the fencing can be delivered, which is similar to strong field fencing. The exterior perimeter fence, not the field, it's the regular commercial grade aluminum black, so you won't really see it. Other than that, we've backfilled the bulkhead at Garvin Point, where some of the spring storms had come at high tide, and it came up and over the seawalls, and it backfilled and drained out and eroded from the seawall back into the picnic area. We have backfilled it with stone. It was not the seawall that failed, it's just sea level rise and the storm action. It just went and splashed up. We have a straight wall, and in CIP we do have bulkhead replacement. I'm going to be getting updated prices, and what the thought is to go to concrete and have it a convex or either concave shape, where when waves hit it, the wave action will be tossed back out to the water, so it can't roll over onto the ground. So that's what our thought process is. So
What year is that in CIP?
we are in the it's been in CIP for a while, but the price needs to be updated, and we finally were able to obtain the report that we did not have from RACE, and we finally have their estimates, but they're 5-6 years old. So I want to get updated prices, so that'll be updated in CIP.
So it's not even in the 5-year yet, it's going in?
No, it is in the
It is.
5-year. We have 310,000 slated, but I think it's going to be more.
Oh, okay.
Because of the new costs. So,
Okay.
so that's where we're
I
at.
keep getting asked about, when is the boat launch? I know you had just said, you mentioned something about it. I didn't pick it up. When is the boat launch? When can I say the boat launch is going to be ready to go?
I've talked to contractor to get the pricing on the fencing,
Okay,
the timber post and rail, and then I need to get 2 Jersey barriers, and then we'll be ready to open. So, I mean, once I get the fencing done, Jersey barriers installed, people can start going down there. And
okay.
I'll
But
worry about the surface.
somebody stops you in the parking lot. What can I say? It's going to be in
A month?
next April.
No, a month and a half.
This year.
Yes.
Oh, great.
Yep.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
And one other question. We had a project, I thought that was you and I talked about this. We were going to expand the pickleball area and the tennis area with that fence.
That is in study cost estimate mode.
Okay.
So,
You know who asks me that all the time.
yeah.
Sarah-
We repaired the net that somebody tried to repair, and we're ordering a new net for the one that is torn. So,
Pickleball?
yes,
I was there today. Those nets are fine.
we just taped them up.
Oh, okay. But must have done it, okay, recently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, we got to realize those are days.
Yeah, no, I understand. And you cleaned up the area too, took all the leaves away and all that.
Yep. I mean, there were three, the ones on the court are 3 years old.
Okay, thank
So
you
we're
very
trying-
much.
We're gonna replace those. So,
Thank you.
yep.
And Vince, just for perspective, and Scott, correct me if I'm wrong, the study or cost estimate, the study phase is this year. Exiting this year, it would be concluded that we would take an action and then it goes on a schedule. So even if it's studied this year and confirmed, then
Right.
it needs to get on Scott's project list. Is that a fair assessment?
Yep, yep.
So,
So we're 2 years away. It'll be,
Well, a year at least. I mean, I'm trying to
yeah,
see if we can reconfigure with the real estate to try to get another court,
okay.
especially a separate
So-
pickleball court.
I
So
got
it's not
90 people,
shared.
I got 90 people asking me every time I go play pickleball. So,
Well, and
you know,
you
you
know,
got a
like
lot more.
like I said, the tennis court was open, but technically pickleball was not.
Yeah,
Because you guys, the people that are playing pickleball are the ones that are compromised as far as the age grouping, and you're all handling the same ball.
yeah,
So, I mean, it's try to safeguard the participants, and I know everybody wants to play.
yeah, understand,
So
understand.
we're working it with it. This
Yeah,
this
I know.
has
I
been a year of
understand.
changes.
It's a strange year.
Yep.
so
Vince
Scott,
might-
back to
Vince
the
might-
beach. Go ahead, Shane.
No, I was just gonna make a personal comment. I was gonna tell him that I have my own personal pickleball court on my front porch right now, ready to be cracked open. So
Awesome. If it's Shane, if it's family, you're good.
it is family.
right.
It is family.
There you go.
They've passed the study phase. So I want to make sure we get some time just to ask general questions or get feedback from the beaches. A couple questions have come up around, and we had talked about this previously. The tables, do we anticipate changes to the tables? Is trash working out? And then finally, incidents, just give us, what are you hearing? So with regard to the tables, do we plan to keep those separate? Do you anticipate those would go back or no?
We're still following the state protocols. People have gone on Facebook saying, they can do grill, and there's picnic tables at Hammonasset, but we believe those are all in the campground, which is technically closed. So we're looking into that, and we'll probably be talking about that tomorrow at the long-term recovery.
Okay.
Right now we're closed. You can bring down your personal grill because it's technically, okay, it's only your family that is using it. But the public grills are not open, and we haven't brought the tables out because we will end up anchoring them. We bought all the supplies to anchor them down so they cannot be ganged up. But that's a decision from EOC as to when we'll be able to do that.
And the restaurant there, are they operating right now?
John is operating. He's got 4 tables outside, so people are starting to go there. The beach traffic has not been really high except for the really great days. And like I said, we did end up closing the gates one day when Hamo filled up and we got overrun, and I think it was a Friday afternoon. But we're getting forewarned because I talked to the assistant superintendent at Hammonasset. He is calling directly down to the surf club to let us know if they're closing up, so we're forewarned. We can get the word to all 3 beaches to be on guard. So.
Okay. Any incidents that you want?
We're only there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Are
if it's
we
closed,
out of town passes?
no, not at this point.
What was the
Nope.
question?
Out of town passes. State of emergency, or for Peggy, she declared the state of emergency. So based on that, to manage total population at the beach, it's limited to residents only at this time.
Correct.
Any incidents, Scott?
You getting cooperation from the police department? Because when I was down there was a police car stationed right by the gate, right on the side of the gate.
They have, Jack instituted a shore patrol.
He did.
So there are officers, there's a motorcycle, as well as 1 or 2 cars, I believe, that
Yeah.
are doing the shore route. And they're not only looking at our beaches, but they're looking at the, on-street parking in the neighborhoods, that people search out when the park closes so they can walk.
Yep.
So, I mean, a lot of times they're going up into Signal Hill, Webster Point,
Yeah.
and then they're hitting the Greenway Trail to get into the park.
It's a zoo.
Yeah, yep.
I was there today. Anyway,
I stopped in
Um,
over the weekend, and I thought it was rather ingenious the way you had set up the office to do at the surf club to do business through the window.
Yep.
And
Yeah, we have 2 stations and it's working out well.
yeah, I was impressed. I thought that was a really creative way of making a solution. And so how is it going with the lifeguards when they are on duty?
We're fully
people-
staffed. We haven't guarded yet.
Okay.
They've been going through their training. They all got recertified for the waterfront this past weekend. And even those that didn't have it were training right beside the others, and they were able to get certified as well. So all are waterfront certified.
how many do we have?
Are you feeling comfortable with I know that in the past you've, made it clear that it's important to have the right people in
Yep.
that position. And are you feeling confident about the
Yeah,
people?
it looks like a great staff.
Great, good.
So-
I'm really glad to hear
Scott,
that.
how many lifeguards do we have?
We have, you would have to ask that, Vince.
Well, I'm just,
Well, we have enough for 5. We have enough for 5 each day, and with backup. So I think we have a total of 9 or 10
mine total.
on staff.
And David's the guy still in charge?
David is the waterfront manager,
Great.
but we have sufficient numbers, and we're still getting inquiries.
Great.
So
Scott, last year we had Mike Docker. He had a role. Is that what David is taking on now as waterfront director,
No.
or is Mike's? Okay,
No.
no, Mike's role doesn't exist.
David is waterfront. He's in charge of the lifeguards, so he'll be keeping an eye on them and managing the entire waterfront. We have Peter Wood, who was going to be the assistant this year until Mike ended up resigning due to his teaching responsibilities. So he backed out for the summer. And right now we have Maura Dooley, who's worked for the department for 3 to 4 years. She's assisting Peter in helping doing the scheduling, but she's also doing beach sales, and we're training other people to do beach sales as well. So, I mean, we still have the same caliber people. Peter is a teacher at Westminster School. He worked for me way back on the maintenance crew, so he's very familiar with the surf club and all the beaches. So,
But those are the 2 adults that one of the 2 of them would be on site for the
Yes.
staff. every day.
there's actually 3. I mean, Maura is a graduate student, so she's out of college. She's going for her master's. So.
Okay. Any other questions that this group here has on the beaches, our processes?
Well, is it too soon to talk about July 4th contingencies?
There is no July 4th.
So we're not gonna have any July 4th at the beach?
There'll be picnicking, but there's no parade, there's no fireworks.
No, I know that, but Mike continue every time he comes to a meeting, says, for the last 15 years, we've had an overflow of people July 4th. I'm just saying.
We will probably, given this current state, we will probably reach capacity and we will end up closing. I
Okay.
mean, we have to try to keep the social distancing aspect in place.
No, I'm with you, Scott. I'm just concerned about the beach pass people at the gate, backing up to to Christie's.
It all depends on, I think that decision has to be made from the front office, whether we're going to allow guest passes or not. If we're only looking for stickers, I mean, it's going to be.
Well, is that a decision that this commission should make for?
I think we should probably.
I think that should be left to the EOC
The
and
selectmen.
yeah.
EOC and selectmen, yeah. And get the directive from them.
I mean, I think Vince, once they opened it up and said, you can, here's the parameters, if we wanted to make a decision based on that, but I would rely on the EOC to make those decisions.
And we do have to remember that under the executive order, we are not open to non-residents on Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays. So July, I don't have a calendar in front of me, but
It's a holiday.
third, fourth, and fifth, it would be residents only
Okay.
under the executive order.
So Scott, the one thing that
sorry, Shane, go ahead.
the only thing I was going to say is the one request I would have is, obviously this is a fluid situation, and the information that's coming in and the decisions that are being made, I mean, it could change week by week, right? Even
Absolutely,
even at the state level, it was originally phase 2 was the 20th. They moved it back to 17th.
Right.
Is there a way of, could you communicate to the committee as there's changes in the rules? Because we do have, as you know, I mean, we field questions from the public all the time.
Mm-hmm.
If there's whether it's an email to Rob, and Rob can email us, or an email out to us just saying, hey, by the way, this has changed, right? The bathrooms have opened, so we're addressing those pieces so that we can be a voice for you as well in the department.
Okay. I agree. I've just been buried.
Yeah, understandably, I think we could probably act as a communication arm for you and the department. And so as new information comes in into changes of policy, not obviously everything, but if there's a change in policy around, hey, we're opening up the lot, or we're expanding to, we're putting the picnic tables out. Like if that decision comes out that starting on the 17th, next Wednesday, we're going to have tables out, that would be good for us to know.
Okay. Thank you.
That's a good call out, Shane. So, I mean, I think that's what happens. All of us get questions, and it would be good if we had that information as soon as possible. Okay. So anything else on the beaches? Questions, concerns, anything we need to be thinking about?
The only thing that I have is I wanted to give you an update. I think we've covered the projects and the staffing, but as far as sales, right now we've sold 3,125 since the beginning part of May. So I think we're well on the track. The surf club, I think, is really helping out as a conduit. But I mean, we got slammed big time with those big mail trays. When you go down to where the mail was being collected, and it was a full tray, just beach and rec. So it was like, so we were working from our homes and everything to try to get these things processed and back out into the mail. And the mail-ins have seemed to dropped off. And we keep on getting the word out, you need it by the 20th. I think Peggy will be mentioning that again, that here's a reminder. You need them by the 20th. Surf Club office is open. You can get them by mail. We're working on the online piece. We tried a test today and we have some hiccups that I have to clear up with Vermont Systems. It was blocking you from getting one. And I don't know why that is. And it's a Vermont System question. And I reached out to the tech and I haven't gotten back, but hopefully we're going to be going live on the 15th for online sales. But again, the online sale piece is you're going to be able to purchase it, but we're going to have to print out the receipts and then mail the stickers out to the people. So, because we're still with that physical piece that they need to have on their car. Until we can come up
So
with
a couple things here.
another way.
One question would be, do we as a group have the ability to experience the ordering online? We would want to understand if we could. And number two is, do we have a service level agreement that if someone places an order today online, we will mail them a sticker tomorrow, providing it's not Sunday? Like, how do we ensure that they're
We will,
happening?
I believe it's going to be the next business day. So if you order on a Saturday or Sunday, it'll be processed on Monday, where I'm going to be having to do a bulk batch receipt for the online sales. So we'd be printing them out. We know who it is and then what they ordered, and we'd put them in an envelope and mail them out. So given the volume, it could be Monday or Tuesday if it's on a weekend. If it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday that they were ordering at night, we'd get it the following morning and send it out.
And the other option is always to purchase down at the Surf Club that day on the spot.
Correct.
Okay.
And the only
I
thing
guess
that
my
you
question
can
for this group is,
guarantee-
do you want to try it? I'm sorry, go ahead, MP.
The only thing that you can guarantee in that is the turnaround time to take it out. We don't know what happens once it gets in the mail, and there's nothing that we can guarantee time-wise about that. The only thing we can guarantee is the turnaround in office happens optimally within a certain time frame. Obviously, sometimes things happen,
Correct.
but I think our outgoing mail goes up to Hartford now before it comes back down for some weird reason.
Yeah, I thought it was Guilford, but
Yeah, but I don't think it's going out through Guilford straight anymore. I think it takes a little roundabout of a way.
gotcha.
So that part we don't really
Does
have
this group
control over.
does this group want a chance to experience it first, or just kind of, or no?
I
Well, it
already have
depends
my
who,
pass.
it depends
I
who's
already
gotten them
have our
already.
passes.
We already have our passes.
Yeah, I have mine too. All right. I mean, I'm just,
So,
do you ask Vermont Systems
Well-
to say, look at make 6 fake accounts, and then we don't have to. I'm just curious if we want to.
I mean, I'm willing to send it out. I'll let you know when we light it up to go and try it. And
Scott, I have two questions.
why do I have dogs?
Cool.
Well, yeah. And number two, you have allergies, I can tell. So I don't know why you have a dog, but that's another subject.
I have
My-
3.
My question is, and I know I sent this out to everybody, the 2018, 2019, and I know 2019 was an aberration, and I know this year is an aberration as well. But are you concerned about the number of people that are using our beaches? I mean, it seems to me that in 2018, we had 7,000 people using the beaches. In 2018 or 19, that went down. And this year, it looks like it's going to be down as well. Are you, as the director of beach, and rec, concerned about that when you look at the beach last year?
Well, I think number one, during this, a lot of people are buying pools.
Well,
So
okay, I have a pool.
So that's a given, and the economy hasn't been the best, so people are choosing whether they're going to buy multiples or just buy one instead of the two.
I'm concerned. I really,
Well, so Vince, I think what I would say is, I don't know if you can necessarily base that analysis off of beach pass sales itself. There are plenty of people that buy passes that, I'm one of them. We buy a beach pass every year. I never go to the surf club.
yeah, but
I
you
just
did that in 2018 as well.
True, but my point is
Same
that,
numbers.
well, no, but I'm saying, but we don't know. Sales versus usage are two different things. So we'd actually have to start measuring and going back to last year and going based on the number of people that entered and came through versus the year before versus just sales alone. I think you have to separate out those two. You can't just draw a straight line correlation between the number of sales and usage and it's the same thing for this year. I think this year is going to be, I wouldn't even look at this year because there are going to be a whole host of people that will not even go near the surf club because of social distancing, and they're not going to even take the chance. So I think this year is a complete aberration, but I don't think we can just simply look at the sales across the board and say that represents usage.
Well, I disagree, but we can agree to disagree. I mean, I would ask the question to Scott. He is, he's the man on the line. Does he think there's been less beach uses over the last 3 years? Have we turned a lot of people off by the various methods that we've been able to give them a beach pass and this COVID issue? I'm just asking the question.
Well,
I mean,
I think that, Vince, it's a fair question. It's anecdotal. Scott, do you collect any data on a daily basis on how many people come to the beach?
Yes. When we have the cards on, yes. On the
So,
weekends.
I mean, I think we can collect this year, Vince. Comparing it to next year, last year, I think we're also limiting. I mean, do we start to track how many people were turning away? I mean, these are good things that we should do, but do we want to do that?
To what end are we hoping for a minimum number of people attending the beach at any given time? What are we doing with this data?
Well, I guess that's a question
I think
for
having
Vince, which
that
is what
data is
Vince.
probably not bad. I think to Vince's question, it's hard to make a case, Vince, that people are up or down. We can look at the dollar amount. We can see what the spend is. To your point, MP, it's a good question. It's good to collect the data, but Vince, what would we be trying to prove? It's going to be hard to prove that sales are up or down this year or attendance is up or down this year, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't look at it.
Well, I'm just asking, as we as a commission should be concerned about the service and the overall impression that our beach is providing to the consumer in Madison. I mean, what is happening to that issue? How do they perceive us? I think we learned a lot about that in the survey. And I think that I believe, my belief is there are less people. When I talk to my friends and other folks, they just don't go to the beach because of just experiences that they've had, or they just don't go anymore. And it concerns me personally as a member of this commission. That's all I'm saying. And I'm just asking Scott what his impression is.
Well, I think there's a lot of safety concerns as far as sun exposure going on now. People are making the choice whether they're gonna come down to the water or not. The water clarity is fine.
Yeah.
We're going back to lifeguards. Maybe that is part of it. They didn't feel comfortable with not having the lifeguards. So maybe it'll turn around this year. I don't know.
Okay, just an observation.
Yep. But we do keep gate statistics as to whose numbers coming in and what have you. So.
Yeah, but it's not a linear correlation with one thing. There are so many other factors.
Sure.
That it's hard to draw conclusions from numbers other than, they're up or they're down, really.
Correct.
Okay. Any other questions on the beach passes? So Scott, next would be both staffing update and facilities. Do you have anything from a staff standpoint or facilities updates?
Like I said before, all staff has been hired and we're up and running, going through some training. And as far as the facilities go, the grounds department has been doing a great job. Some communities hadn't even touched their ball fields, and we're all pretty much staged, ready to go. We've kept on them, and we'll be ready to meet the demand of Little League, Madison Travel Baseball, given the current guidelines, as well as other sports. So,
Scott, you just got your field resting schedule handled for like the next 4 years. You're good.
absolutely, it was great. Yeah, I mean, the turf really responded to not being played on.
Lower Town campus hasn't looked that good in a long time.
I know.
MP, I drive by it all the time. I agree. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
And Salt Meadows
Awesome.
even better. It really came back. Exchange, we still have to renovate, but all the other fields are good turf. There are our turf consultant saying this is the best thing that could have happened as far as turf management goes, because it's gonna excuse me.
You gotta get rid of that dog.
It's allergies.
Scott,
And it's not necessarily the dogs now.
Scott,
But
sorry to
this,
interrupt.
the turf is able to develop deeper root structure, and it's going to be a stronger turf moving on. So it was
So
kind of a good
Scott,
thing
I'm
in that situation.
gonna ask you a question. I think I know the answer to this, but I'm gonna ask it anyways.
Sure.
So, given the fact that we are, for all intents and purposes, in a shutdown, when was the renovation to Exchange supposed to happen, and is there any option of changing the schedule in terms of spend so that we did that now, so that we aren't impacting any of the sports going forward when we would normally do it probably during a period of time when it would impact?
Well, that got rolled out because of the road, the exit road. So they didn't want us to move forward on the, field renovation when we dig it up for the exit road. So we have to get the cost and design of the road, and it's going to be done as one package. So that's out next year. This year's the cost analysis and study. And I think it's 2021, 22 for the construction and reconstruction.
So I'll take that as a no on the ability to adjust.
Yeah. I mean, what I'm going to try to do, I mean, we've been trying to roll youth football a little bit more onto the turf in the fall. I mean, it's just hard when you have the high school sports down there and everybody wants the turf because it's always there. So
Scott, is Exchange approved? Is Exchange approved, or is it still going through the cost analysis before it goes to CIP?
Cost analysis. It's in CIP, but we moved it out because the road aspect came into play for the exit.
So it's not in CIP. It was, but we pulled it out because
it
we need
is
to
in
look at
CIP,
the...
but
Yeah,
it
it
was
is in
pushed out
CIP.
another year.
Okay.
But other than that, Bower Gardens are up and running. The bike park is happening. Playground will be installed mid-July.
Oh, nice.
For Rockland. That got pushed off because he lost workers due to the COVID. Not lives lost, but they couldn't work. So that's getting back on track. And
Scott,
That's-
just as you're on Rockland, I just want to follow up on Rockland.
Yep.
Any incidents or updates on parking? I know the police have been up there as far as managing traffic. There was, Bruce had asked about an opportunity to potentially staff it. Has there been any movement on that, or is that something that we need to take under a new business at another meeting?
I think it would be a new meeting, but I think a lot of that peaked and it's starting to get back down to normal as other areas open up. We are having rogue trail builders that we're trying to handle, building trails that have more challenge, and we have to explain to them that's not what this is intended. So we are probably going to be installing trail cams so we can see what's going on in live. So, I mean, we've had to block, the guys have had to block several trails that they developed for more speed and whatever, but that's not what single tracks are designed for. Single tracks are very narrow.
I'll follow up with Bruce. He and I, given COVID, kind of that discussion kind of stalled. So I'll follow up with Bruce and just get an update and understand that and see if we get it to an agenda item.
Okay.
Okay. Anything on staffing for you from your perspective?
No, like I said, we're up to speed. We may have a couple more coming on, but we're ready to roll. Summer programs that we're able to offer. We're taking registrations online now. Those have been turned on. There will be summer escape. There will be a bunch of programs and they're all online for people to view. And that is on our new splash page. I don't know if anybody's gone on to look at it. People are getting to it. There's not a lot of questions that are coming, except for the household updates where they need to add a child or what have you, but that's typical maintenance.
It is very nice. I did go to the website to look at it. It's a really nice. Now I want the whole rest of the web of the site to come up to those standards, but it's nice.
Thanks.
Scott, just a quick question. Are they doing the sailing program down there this year? Or is that
No, the sailing is not happening this year.
not happening?
No. Given what was coming down the pike, it was really too much because we have the smaller boats.
Yeah.
Kids would have been in very close proximity to each other.
Okay.
And we didn't feel it was prudent to do it.
My grandson asked me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Thank you,
I
Scott.
understand.
I don't know about you guys. I'm getting some really bad feedback. Maybe it's coming from me as well, but there's crackling and hearing other people speak. So I think we've gone through the updates, and thank you, Scott. I think this was all pertinent information. The agenda under old business or new business would be for something that we need to have addressed or have a discussion on. Is there any old business that's pertinent that needs to be addressed at this time that anyone wants to bring up? Okay. Hearing no old business, under new business, is there any new business that's pertinent that anyone needs to bring up or wants to discuss?
I just want to ask one quick question. On the online sales that we're going to institute for the beach passes, going to be a forever in other words, are we going to have the same program next year? Or are we going to have to go through
No, it'll be a rec track.
So it's done?
Yep.
Okay.
No more experimenting.
Okay, so my records are in there. And if I go online, it's going to be in there. I'm done.
Okay. When you purchase online, we're having people enter their plate number and and then we have a disclaimer in there that it is subject to audit. So if people are buying passes for their friends and having it sent to their Madison home, non-residents, they're the ones that are beating the system. So we really can't complain that we have non-residents there if it's Madison people that are trying to help their friends out.
Terrific.
not to be mean about it, but you know, it's there are beaches, they're tax supported by us. And you know, it's for our use and they're there
Understood.
for our use and enjoyment.
Okay, so hearing no new business, we'd open up to public comments. We don't have any other guests that are on here.
Doesn't look like it. Nope.
So at this point, if there's no comments, we'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. That concludes our meeting tonight. Scott, thank you for your preparation. Appreciate it. Thanks for
Yeah,
the
it worked.
updates. I hope everyone stays safe. And
Yeah.
we will see you down at the beach, except Shane, who doesn't go there. So we'll see you on Middle Beach Road on your motorcycle, Shane.
I'm glad
All right, guys, take care. Be safe.
I'm glad
Thanks,
it
everybody.
worked.
Yeah.
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 You did a great job,
Cake,
Scott.
no problem.
Get rid of the dog,
Have a good
Scott.
night.
Good night.
Night.
Sell the dog.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Okay.